Hi, this is a reflection on lesson 186 in A Course in Miracles. It says, the salvation of the world depends on me. And I thought I would do one more reflection while out in the kayak on the lake before I have to pack up camp and head back home. It's been a wonderful 4 nights, 5 days of nature. More nature! So this lesson, by the way, I paddled. I'm already drifting, but it's choppy again. So I paddled against the chop into the wind so that I can just float right back to camp, hopefully. But we'll see. I learned that lesson the hard way. You always want to use your energy to go into the wind and then come let it bring you back. Or else we might require a John boat rescue. Which luckily is right there. There's the dock where my family ties up all their John boats for fishing boats. So the salvation of the world depends on me, which is kind of a funny way to title this one because it's all about feeling into a natural sense of humility, true humility versus like a false humility out of arrogance. So, which is funny because I hadn't read this one yet when I did yesterday's reflection, and I was really feeling into this humility thing, and then it shows up today. So it makes me think how no matter what I think about the way these lessons are written, there must be some underlying wisdom to how they're written in the order that they go in, and the little seeds they're planting along the way, and how they're germinating at just the right time. Isn't that funny? If those of you who are doing these lessons, do you feel that way too? It's weird, unless it's such a subtle form of like mind control. And I'm like, I'm here for it. That's why I'm liking this mind control. So this one about humility and this word salvation, which we've already talked about, is like, and it talks about our only function is forgiveness. And that's how the whole world is saved, the salvation of the world. To me, it comes down to the same things it's always come down to with these lessons. Is the forgiveness is another word for acceptance, for everything. Acceptance of ourselves, acceptance of others, no judgment, just the isness of things, and trusting in, well, speaking of wisdom, trusting in that wisdom. You might want to call it divine, which is just another word for like beyond the human comprehension. So divine wisdom, this unknowing, I just love the idea of like trusting so much in the unknowing, and that wisdom of the acceptance of all that is means and it kind of goes into humility, like our minds just constantly try to do, understand, grasp, like make meaning, form an identity that can do things in this world to bring us joy and happiness and all the things we want in life. And the humility is saying, wait a minute, like my arrogance in thinking I have a doer in me at all that can actually do anything that's going to bring the best things, all those that, joy, peace, love, or really, to me, you can do in order to bring those things about. But it's really like, well, what brings me into that sense of oneness that I'm just, my whole being just craves it, even if I conceptually or being, with my thinking mind, I'm not thinking about it. But everything in me at the most fundamental level, like the undercurrent of me, is trying to constantly tap into the oneness feeling. And to think that the doer in me can make that happen is arrogance. It's not humility. It's a false humility to go about life thinking all the things I dream and plan up and think that are going to bring me the ultimate happiness and fulfillment and joy and oneness is like such an illusion. But the ego, that identity in us, says, oh yeah, I have to do this. That's what we do. We can do it. It's just, I just haven't found that thing yet, but I'm gonna, the thinking we can do anything to bring that about, when really it's the humility and trusting whatever we don't understand, that divine wisdom, if you want to call it that, the whole thing that keeps the universe humming, even if humans didn't exist. We're just a little blip in the wisdom of this universe. Do you think other life forms think about, ooh, if I get this job or if I do this thing or whatever, it's going to make me so happy? No, they just go about saying, this is the way it works inside of me. I trust this wisdom inside of me to go gather acorns and plant them because I think I'm going to be hungry later when it gets cold. They're not thinking about it, they're just doing it. And so that's that humility and just trusting that if I come into the stillness, the quiet, the non-doing, the non-thinking, it's not being lazy. That's a thing I had to get over. It's like, no, I feel like, there's something to be done here. What are other people doing? What's the path? What's the next step? What phase am I in? What, trying to orient to something, like a path. And they call it the pathless path because it's like, there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. Stop trying so hard. Be still. Be quiet. Makes me emotional because that's this feeling of just, I love it so much, of just finally the acceptance that, oh my God, my whole life I've been a doer and a thinker. And it's led me, I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of adventures. I've felt a lot of emotions. Felt a lot of angst and frustration and not enoughness also. And this such beauty and love and gratitude for to realize viscerally and knowing, not a thinking, and knowing that, what a relief. What a relief. That's what makes me emotional in the best way. What a relief to know that I don't have to do any of that to feel all of those best, highest, that's what I mean by best, highest, deepest, biggest, whatever, love, peace. It's really peace, love, peace, and then a joy that bubbles up in just that knowing that there's nothing to do here and there's no problem here. Things that need to get done in daily life will get done because at some point I'll feel like, oh, that's the next thing to do. And it feels natural to do it when it bubbles up at just that right moment. And so there's the part that was elusive to me for so long was the trust in self, that the self will do the doing without having to ruminate and plan and control everything. The doing will just happen. And that's such a relief to finally come into a trust that that's just how it works if I get out of the way, if this gets out of the way. So I love that emotion that comes up because, that's my favorite emotion. The relief in the trust. Wait, what was the name of this lesson? Oh, the salvation of the world depends on me. Yeah, it does. It depends on you too. we're going to save the world oneself at a time. And that's what I was talking with a friend about, is that's another form of relief, is like when we get all swept up in what's happening out there. I say that purposefully like that, out there in the world, as if there's an out there. Like we look out and we're like, the world's on fire. Whatever that is for you, news, other people, whatever you want to, whatever your problem of the day is. We can't fix problems outside of ourselves, can we? We can't fix everything. Well, if everybody would just do this, the world would be great. There'd be no problem. Meaning the person who feels that problem would not feel that problem anymore. But that's all an illusion, isn't it? The idea that there's something to be fixed. All we have to do is work on ourselves. If every person in the world worked on themselves, meaning learn how to let go, stop trying, stop doing, stop creating the chaos, stop feeding into the chaos, well, world would be pretty awesome. And then you might say, well, yeah, but we're not all doing that. Okay, well, that's part of the problem too, isn't it? Thinking that we're not all doing it. We're all separate from that. We're all not doing something we should be doing. So we get back to like, okay, well, now we got to fix it. Well, how do you fix it? These problems out there are too complex, too big for the one single person to do something. So then we think, well, what can I do? Or maybe the people who haven't done the giving up, throwing the hands up, say, okay, let's form a coalition. Let's form this organization. Let's go do stuff good in the world, which is pretty awesome, right? That people can still feel like they're having an effect out there. But you know what? The world's going to keep doing what the world does. It's going to keep going. And problems will get fixed when they're meant to be fixed. But also I say that from a point of view of I live right now where I still feel a sense of freedom, which to me is an ultimate. Like if I don't have my freedom, my sense of agency, yikes. So if I didn't already feel like that, it's probably an illusion, right? Like there's a lot of control trying to happen in the world. But I feel a sense of freedom still, like I can have this sense of agency. If I didn't have that, what would I feel like? So I'm saying that knowingly, like I'm acknowledging that I'm in a situation where I still feel pretty free, and that's a fundamental, like, human need I have. So if I didn't feel that, I'd be like, hey, all you out there, fix this problem. I can't do it myself, So yeah, there's still, like, it's all okay. People will get together, and the people who have means and drive, and they'll fix problems. They'll clean up the oceans. They'll stop polluting outer space. They'll, whatever the problem is of the day, that stuff will happen, right? Because people get together and fix the problems that it bubbles up for them. Their doerness is being focused in a direction at the right time. I think we all get, not we all, I shouldn't say that. Like, I've felt this and I see it around me. Like, we get swept up in all these problems. When you see a whole bunch of them together in short order, they all seem, it's just overwhelming. And this inner frustration, you can feel it and you can name it, and you can feel it in a very specific location in your body usually. It's different for all of us, but sometimes it feels like a pressure in the head or a knot in the stomach, like a fist. This, I don't know what to call it other than frustration, where you, like, there's this sense that something should and can be done, and yet it's too overwhelming for me to do anything about it. And I really think a lot of our society and culture, whatever you want to call it, is designed to keep that churning within us. So that's what I mean by doing the work and letting go and self-searching, inquiry. Where is that in me? What is it really about? Is it about the out there? What I've found in myself, and I hear in a lot on this pathless path, is no, there's something under that that's actually in here. If we search and inquire and quiet that outside, maybe turn off the news for a week while you do this, or a month or a year, whatever, and come back in here. Because the out there is going to keep doing what the out there does. Like, it's not a giving up feeling to me when I say the world's just going to do what it's going to do. Because I'm still an optimistic, hopeful person. I can hold both of those things as truths. That, there's going to be chaos. There's going to be all the bad things happening out there. And no matter what, there's still that. So why not dig deeper and figure out, what is this knot in me, that fist? What's it really about? And dig deeper. It's doing shadow work. It's doing inquiry. It's trying to sense into the true nature of self. And then let go of the things that keep that knot, that fist really clenched. Continually letting go. It's usually pretty energetic. And then at some point, you're like, wow, my fist in there feels a little less tight, a little less clenched. Okay, more. Oh, feels a little less clenched. The out there didn't change. But my feeling of like doerness, like frustrated, thwarted doerness, isn't having the grip on me that it once had. So what changed? The out there is still doing what it does. But the in here has changed to the point where I do feel freer. I do finally feel like I maybe do have more of a sense of agency in affecting change in the world, which is our perception of the world, which is really our inside reflecting outside. It's all connected. And it'd be wonderful if we all did stuff like that, and then we wouldn't even feel like we had to feed into the chaos. And you're like, yeah, well, what about those people in power? Well, a lot of us don't see them doing the personal work in their lifetime, but that's their path. What are they trying to learn? What did they come here to learn? If you want to get a little woo-woo about it, like if you believe we come to this place to learn things, they're learning some big lessons. Maybe not in this lifetime, but when they go back to from whence we came. If you think of the concept of a life review, if you want to, again, get a little esoteric about it, dive deeper into the unknown that we can't know as just our limited human self, but we can theorize and, kind of imagine, oh man, their life review is going to be a doozy. And they're kind of like taking one for the team. If you think about all our souls feeding back into one soul, we're all shards of glass reflecting each other in order to learn something, learn lessons, to feed the evolution and the growth of the oversoul. Then it's like, wow, they really took one for the team, didn't they? They came here, created a lot of chaos, created a lot of hatred, frustration, just bad stuff in the world, in order for us all to learn something from it. Because if I do end up tapping into the news, even just reading a headline or two, or hearing what other people are saying about our politics, I'm still learning stuff about me, like, wow, how do I feel about that? And then I turn it back into self-inquiry. So there is, as bad as we think those people are, what their behaviors are, sure is teaching me a lot as somebody prone to self-inquiry anyway, because it took a while, but I already came to that conclusion that the doer in me isn't interested in fixing the world out there, but I can still learn from it through inquiry and how I feel about those things. So anyway, that's what I have from The Salvation of the World Depends on Me. It's kind of paradoxical, like I said in the beginning, because it's not about the doer, because I'm not going to save the world with my doing. Okay, this was a long one, and I drifted back a little past camp. It won't take too much effort, I guess, to get back against the wind. And yeah, thanks for coming along with me these last 4 reflections on the lake. That they're longer because there's some peace out here, I think, that just allows more stuff to bubble up, just given the time and space. So thanks for coming along on these boat rides. Bye.